Hello, my name is Delilah Cordova, Visibility Creator here at Omnipresence Studios. We expose the world to our interviewees' unique products, services, and books, and we also help in their journey to go from undiscoverable to visible in a digital world. I am currently on a mission to conduct 100 author interviews, and we're talking about all things books, from publishing to new authors, and don't forget marketing. I would like to welcome you to our show, Marketing and Coffee, where authors come to get inspired and experience. Hey authors, you finished your manuscript. What do you do next? If you would like to learn more about being featured on my show, go to marketingandcoffee.com. And without further ado, meet our next awesome author. So for today, I have with me, once again, Giles Blackley. He is the author of Closeburn Crossing. And he's just so happy to be here. I'm going to let him go ahead and take it away. Go ahead, Giles.
Sure. Thank you so much, Delilah, for the opportunity. And it's great to be able to speak with you about this. Basically, I'm a new writer, and I've been writing fiction just for a few years, and recently published my first book, Closeburn Crossing. And it's an adventure story. It's about an 11-year-old boy called Daniel, and he lives in a village, a small village called Closeburn, with his mom and sister. And when he goes to school, he finds school boring, and he experiences bullying, unfortunately. And but one day that all changes because he's transported to this extraordinary world called Altinor, and he has to, escape many dangers and find a way home. And I wanted to really write something that I would love to have read when I was Daniel's age, when I was 11, and make it kind of fun, but also kind of scary at the same time for someone that age to go, from his experience in Closeburn, which isn't all that great, to this whole other world where he meets all these different characters and he has to, find a way home. So it's almost like taking on his whole life and all the responsibility at that age. And I thought it was just something interesting to tackle really in the book. Yeah, so the first book.
That's interesting. So where did you get your inspiration for this book?
I'd say it comes really from the village, the small village near where I was growing up, the same name. So it's Closeburn in Dumfriesshire, Scotland. And basically, I wanted to write, something that linked with Closeburn, but also took you to a different world and made you think about different characters and all sorts of different experiences, I guess, that Daniel has to go through to try and get home. And huge influences for me were the Narnia books growing up, Stargates, and Robert Louis Stevenson's books, and Philip Pullman. So, yeah, just all over the place, really, different inspirations and influences.
So I'm really interested because I'm American. I want to know more about you and being in Scotland.
Yeah.
Because you called where you live a village, right?
Yeah. You see, where I was growing up, when I was like, I guess Daniel's age, 11, and into my teenage years, I lived on a farm actually, and I lived very near to this small village called Closeburn, and it's so quiet and nothing really happens in Closeburn. And I really loved the place as a child, and I wanted to kind of, I guess, speak more about it and bring it more into the public eye, and then get people to travel from Closeburn, which I know and love, to a completely different world, with light years away from our Earth, and with all sorts of different characters and dangers, that Daniel has to overcome.
Yeah, that's interesting. So when in Scotland, like when you say villages, I picture like I picture like not too many cars, but like maybe people pushing with carts with like animals.
No, no.
Is
Well,
that
I guess that might have been back in the day, but no, we've managed to get cars now and tractors and all sorts of fun, engines from the countryside. Yeah, but I live now in Edinburgh, and I love Edinburgh too, and it's a really inspiring place as well to write. But I always love going back to where I grew up, and I think it was the real reason I wrote the book, because of my love for the area.
yeah,
Closeburn. Yeah.
it's interesting. It's interesting. Beautiful. So my next question that I have for you is, how did your book cover come about? Look at it's a really nice book cover, very interesting. Yeah, how did you get that done? Was it did somebody hand draw it out for you, or if so, where can we have their phone number? They did an awesome job.
Sure. No, thank you so much. I mean, the cover was done by this incredible artist who lives in Oregon. Actually, he's from Liverpool, but he moved to Oregon, and he's called Nathan McKenna, aka Nathan Aardvark. Very interesting name. And he does all sorts of different art, for books, TV shows, animation, start TV shows, you name it. And I just thought the stuff he did really linked so well with what I was writing. I don't know if you can see, but I'll try and show you a bit better the cover. There it is, and you can kind of see. I don't know if you see. There's Daniel there, and he's looking at a portal. And that's Daniel in Closeburn. And on the back, we've got, try and a bit closer there, that's a character from Altinor. That's from a warrior tribe called the Fibs. And they live in a jungle in Altinor called Iria. And you learn about him and his tribe and their traditions throughout the book. So, yeah, I just thought what Nathan did with the art was wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice, really detailed. And it's interesting because you don't know what the big hole is when you first look at it,
Yeah,
They got the
strange.
little dog
Uh-huh.
following him. Like, what's going on
Yeah.
with that? What's about to
Well,
happen?
yeah,
What's going on?
exactly. It's like, where's he going? And why in the middle of the night as well? What's this
Yeah.
portal thing? Yeah. But
So,
it's a bit of a mystery.
so how is marketing your book and going for you so far? How you
Yeah.
make it out? What are you doing? Any tips you can give
Uh,
us or give other aspiring writers?
Sure. Well, actually, I mean, I'm doing some marketing online and offline, including a Facebook, readers and writers groups. And I find actually a lot of other writers are really helpful in sharing their experiences. But it was something I always wanted to ask you, as the expert in that field, how would you say what would be the best way, I could market the book and get the book out there?
Well, with it being it's more about children's book, young adult, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what I would suggest is that you create, since this guy already made you an awesome cartoon character here, is that you put together an awesome book trailer and get on YouTube. Because that is the majority, like my kids live from 2 years old all the way up to 15. They live on YouTube because
Right. Yeah.
it's easy to watch what they want to watch. But the thing is, if you can do something that's like trailer related, like kind of like movie like, then
Yeah.
they get more exposure to that group, and hopefully catch the right people's eye. What you need to be focused on is teachers, institutions like school institutions, all those people. You got to think about all those people who are going to make children read, right?
Exactly, right.
Because that should ultimately be because they're the ones with the money too. So that if you focus on school teachers, that more than likely try to put it in so that they can buy them in bulk. So
get a few copies.
Yes, and so maybe creating some type of reading program, because if I were you, I would like send out a whole bunch of press releases to all the different school programs and be like, hey, if you purchase X amount of books, we'll donate this, or we're supporting X cause, something like that, some type of incentive to purchase those books. I know that. Yeah, I can give you maybe. My last one is I don't know for Scots how big Scholastic is, but over here in the United States, Scholastic is a big one because they send out those flyers. They have Scholastic book fairs in almost every public school here, and they send out those flyers to people's homes. So they work on selling those books for you, and then they have the kids go home and be like, "We're gonna have a book. We gotta buy these books." You gotta
read it. Yeah. Wow.
Buy me, Mom. I hate when my kids bring them home because I don't like to buy none of that stuff.
but they love it.
Yeah, kids get excited about it though, because they want to buy the books. They don't really want to read them. They want to buy them, the excitement of the book fair, and all the other kids are gonna pick a book, and I'm gonna get this book, and that's what Scholastic brings to the table. So I know they have a list of requirements, but if you can get in the door with them, they'll sell the book for you, and it's about making it that simple. Hold on, I have one more for anybody else who's listening. The last one is for LinkedIn. Leverage LinkedIn to get you those business-to-business connections. So, for example, Scholastic, right, has X amount of employees, right? X amount of employees. Get into that connection or get into that circle, start finding those people and start talking to them on LinkedIn on a professional level. Then you can introduce them to the awesomeness that your book, or to the value that your book will bring to them. You know what I mean? And it's also like school teachers. LinkedIn is a great place to connect directly with school teachers. If you did just a little bit of LinkedIn lead generation every day, know how many teachers that you could accumulate? Do you know how many?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you can get tons and tons of teachers, and that's what you really need with a young adult children's book, is that backing. Because, teacher approved, parent approved, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah.
All right.
Get teachers. That's great advice. Thank you so much.
No problem. If anybody listens, I would hope people would listen. In the marketing and coffee group for authors, if you guys are not a part of it, make sure you guys go and check it out, because I actually did a whole Facebook Live training that I did. I believe it was a Harley Abbott, and he's a children's book writer, and I laid all that out for him there too a little bit, but not as in depth with YouTube ads. No, I did go over YouTube ads. Anyway, this is your interview.
No. It's great to hear all this advice. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Giles. Giles is such a cool name because, over here we have the last thing I remember somebody saying Giles in was what was that show? Frasier Crane. Frasier. Yeah, it was it's an American TV show. And his brother.
I watched Frasier.
Yeah, it's Frasier. That's what it is. Frasier. But his brother's name was Giles, and he was I was gonna marry Giles.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It was. He has to be intelligent then.
It was serious.
I remember Buffy. You remember Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh yeah, I love them too.
There's that librarian guy, like with the name as well.
Oh yeah, the librarian guy.
Yeah.
I think anytime I think of like some type of British type character or hoity-toity character, they name him Giles because it's kind of ritzy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's got the glitz. Yeah.
Like, exactly. So, Giles, does writing energize or exhaust you?
It definitely energizes me. Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a typical introvert actually, and so while like big crowds and socializing can often tire me,
Mhm.
when I'm by myself and I'm writing, I just feel so energized, and that's when I feel the inspiration comes to me more than when I'm doing other things, really.
Yeah. So, for me, it's exhausting for me. Like I don't like writing. I don't like it.
Oh, no, you don't like.
I don't know. It takes a long time to put together. Um, so when you are in the process of writing and you're getting energized, what are common methods that you use to get your work out on paper or in the computer when it's you?
Cool.
I don't know
Well,
anybody use paper.
I kind of do, yeah. I type, all the stuff out, and but I do notes as well. So I scribble little notes on a notepad, anything that comes to mind, and sometimes it's in the craziest places. I mean, I think so many people say, "Oh, I've had ideas in the shower," or "I've had ideas, I'm about to go to sleep." I'm like, "Oh no, I need to write an idea down," and it just stuff comes from anywhere really, and then I just try and pull it all together and write that first draft and not worry too much about editing whilst I'm going along with it, because I feel that sometimes it makes it less emotionally honest, or if you worry too much about what you're writing in the first draft. I just try and get it all out there, and I would say I kind of write in bursts. I just get kind of inspired and into it, and then the next day I was like, right, I have to do all that over again. So I need to build the energy up again for it. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Right. Trying to all right. So I can see that you really enjoy it. And I don't believe that you're an introvert. I don't think so, because you're doing really well right now.
Well, thank you very much. Well, yeah. That's nice of you.
So what are common traps for aspiring writers, in your opinion?
Common traps. Yeah, I believe that a big one is when you're trying to write for a specific market. So when someone worries too much maybe about how their book's perceived, and I think it's kind of natural. But I mean, I write, and I think a lot of other writers do, because they can't help it. They've got to write, and they've got to share their stories. And
Right.
I try to think more about, okay, I can't wait to share this story with someone else, and talk about it, and just hear people's views, about it, rather than thinking, trying to second guess or what's going to sell, or try and fit into a specific box, with the writing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good answer. And, a lot of how do you feel about? I know an author, and they kind of have decided to take a religious path. So they feel like the books that they have written before is not along that path, and like,
Oh, right. Okay.
yeah. So they wanted to stop selling these are awesome books, though. I hate
Yeah.
to see them leave.
Yeah.
But they have decided to take them down and not
Wow.
continue on with them as a legacy. But for you,
Yeah.
you're gonna continue on, and your books are gonna be your legacy.
Yeah. Right.
And especially that now that do you ever think that you would leave your books behind like that?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I think
You
also like what you're saying about the person who had different kind of style of books before to what they're writing now. I think it's okay to just be honest, with what you're writing in a certain period in your life, and then that can shift. I mean, I hope to be writing kind of, children's fiction for a long time, have a career out of it. And I've got ideas for, after this trilogy, because this is the first book in a trilogy about Altinor and Daniel. And I just think there's such a desire for people out there to read now. And it's so easy to find a book, whether by ebook or just paperback, whatever. And
Right.
there's so much choice. It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesomeness. So what you were saying that your book is going to be in a trilogy, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you want each book to stand on its own, or are you trying to build connections between each book?
Well, with me, I'm writing the trilogy based on this world Altinor, so I'm really building a series, and I hope that the readers who read Closeburn Crossing, that they'll want to find out what happens to Daniel and all the other characters, and learn more about the world of Altinor. I think that it's trying to really write a trilogy and tell one long story. It's getting that balance.
Right. So then, do you write one book and then work on? Do you start building the second book while you're writing the first book?
Yeah, I'm kind of like one of those gardener writers. So I kind of grow ideas whilst I'm writing the first one. Whilst I was writing the first book, I was thinking, oh, that'd be really good for the next one, and maybe I'll keep that for that character for the next book, and that really helped me. So I just jotted loads of ideas down for the next one, and I felt that it really helped me in speeding on the writing of the second one. I'm sort of about 2/3 through the second book, and I hope to release it a bit later this year. So it'd be so great, for readers to be able to experience the first book and then quite soon after can just tap into the next one in the trilogy.
Right. You know what? I can't wait for the second interview.
Book 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Me too.
Yeah, maybe pre-launch. We could do pre-launch. Yeah,
Exactly,
pre-launch.
yeah.
Hey, if you guys want to know about the pre-launch of Book 2 of Closeburn Crossing, go ahead and put in the comments me or yes,
Right.
Closeburn Crossing, or hashtag Closeburn Crossing 2.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So what was the best money you ever spent as a writer?
Okay. It was definitely on the cover art for Closeburn Crossing. I mean, I was looking for, I guess, an artist that could kind of reflect the story and a specific scene, and I saw Nathan McKenna's work online, and I thought this guy kind of has a style that I really admire and respect the work he's done so far. I thought it'd be so great if we could work together and make some great art for promoting the book, really. And
Yeah.
I'm really happy with the results, and I hope that we'll work in the future on the next 2 books.
So I actually have a lot of authors in my groups and friends who are looking for an illustrator. What was your process, and how did you find this illustrator? Do you have any tips or tricks, advice on finding a good illustrator?
Absolutely. I mean, I looked on a few different websites, and I sent it in on this one site called Illustration, illustration.com. And the company, the company that runs it's Illustration Limited, and I think they've got offices in a bunch of different countries. The one I was dealing with was in London, and it was really through the agent of various different illustrators that I found out about how to get in touch with the artist, and it was an amazing sort of different back and forth of communication, because we were going talking by email first, and then Skype, first to London, then to Oregon. So it was great. We had to kind of specific times where we could talk about what we wanted out of the art and everything. And yeah, I was really pleased with the process.
Isn't the internet amazing?
I know. It's connecting everyone.
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina right now, interviewing you in Scotland.
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Scotland. I like saying it like that. Scotland. John Boltman has a question here. He says, will the book release gala be stateside or in Scottsdale? Gala. Oh, like a party.
Party. Well, I guess the party for the book can be anywhere. But
it'll be online. It'll be a Facebook
online
party.
Or, I mean, if you want to pick up the book, it's all there. It's on Amazon, and I'm just celebrating the fact that I've got a book out. I'm so happy, and it's great that people are interested. Yeah, thank you so much.
Scotland. Yeah. I love Scott. I love that word. I told you earlier, like Mary, Queen of Scots. So I already asked this about what's the best way to market your books, and I think I answered it.
Yeah, you answered it really well. Yeah, lots of great advice.
Good. So what did you edit out of the book that nobody knows you took out?
Oh, I edited quite a bit actually out of the book. It's mostly dialogue and some description where I didn't think it really served the plot. And my wife, who's like my editor, and she's ruthlessly honest, she showed me the scene that just frankly had way too much ketchup, and it was an overblown kind of dramatic scene. And when I listened to her words, I thought, okay, I've got to scale this back. And so we worked on it, and now I think it's a more powerful scene, and it has a completely different effect on readers, and at least I hope so. And I had to kind of focus, bring it back to the emotion of the characters rather than edging into kind of the comical. It was something about the scene I didn't want at all for it to be comical as a more dramatic scene. But
Sorry.
yeah, I hope I managed to scale it back a bit with the drama and that scene and make it more about the emotions.
Right. Because you want to evoke emotion in anything that you do. Yeah. And especially, I was saying that in books like that. I think any type of writing, from ad copy to writing books, like you want to evoke the feels. You want to
exactly.
evoke the feels. Because that's how people get captivated. Because the key word to anything, I think, is mystery. You know what I mean? Like it's mysterious. Like they gotta figure out what more, and you gotta
what's
keep that
gonna happen.
Yeah, mystery.
Exactly.
That's the hook.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think a curiosity too. Yeah, I use curiosity.
Yeah.
Because I think that mystery and curiosity are the two biggest factors of the human brain in continuing on. You know what I mean? Because
we love to know more about something.
Right.
We love to learn more about things.
Yeah. A lot of marketers will say it's pain points. I don't think it's pain points at all. I think it's curiosity. If you can pique somebody's curiosity and speak to them on a level, then 9 times out of 10 they're gonna be like, yeah, I gotta go check out more of this to find out what happened.
What's this about? Like, what's happening? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So mystery. The words of the day, you guys: mystery and curiosity. You're advertising. So did you hide any secrets in your book that only maybe a few people will find? Or you know what? Did you have any characters that portray somebody that they don't know that portrays them?
Oh, well, I guess in the book, not so much in the book. There are some characters that are kind of loosely based on a bunch of different people. But in the map of the book, which my wife helped create, that has some treats in it for like family and close friends. And so if they look at the map, they can maybe work it out and see if they look at it what the link is with them.
Well, it links them there.
Yeah.
Nice. So in your book, I know you were talking a little bit earlier about one of the scenes and about cutting it down and making it more impactful. But what was the hardest scene to write?
The hardest scene for me to write, it was an action scene, and it was on a ship, and all the characters are doing different things on this ship, and I was worried that it was going to be hard to follow, but I hope, through quite a lot of editing of that chapter, that I've made it exciting, and the readers, it wouldn't be confusing to the readers. I hope so.
Hope so. So it's a pirate scene. It's on a boat, and is there sword fighting? Is it what?
There's a kind of skirmish, and it's kind of inspired, by Robert Louis Stevenson and Treasure Island. So I wanted to get a scene like that, like the ones in Treasure Island, into the book. I love that book, and I thought, how can I kind of do this with my own spin and make it a bit different from that as well? But, it's set obviously a completely different planet, but yeah, it was really fun as well to write, but quite a hard scene, the hardest scene to write.
So my question is since there's this crossing port, is there is there magic? Is any of the creatures like magical? Is there is there magic lasers or something? Is there magic?
Well, there's kind of abilities that some characters in Altinor have that we wouldn't imagine on Earth, in our wildest dreams. And part of that is I'm going to tap into that more in the second and third books. But as soon as Daniel goes to Altinor, he realizes that some of the characters can do things, and also with their brains, they can work on things in ways that people on Earth can't. And he's trying to kind of deal with that and use it to his advantage also with the people he meets and in trying to get home as well. Try to get back to his mom and his sister.
Right. John Boltman, he wants to know what time period does this story take place?
Well, I've kind of left it vague in some respects, but I've always imagined the Closeburn scenes starting in the 90s, when I was a teenager, and I guess in Altinor, when it moves to that other world, the timeline shifts, and Altinor's time is different from Earth's. So Daniel worries about that. He worries, if I get home, how long will it have been? Will it have been years since I've seen my mom and sister, or would it have been minutes? And that's something that's going to be addressed in some of the later books, but he worries about that in the first one, for sure.
Right. Nice. So my question for you is, I know that you're going to be having a trilogy come out, but what are we going to see in the next 5 years from you?
Well, I hope the next two books will be out. I mean, I'm planning book 2 for this year, and then the third one the following year, and then I want to write, more books based in that world and with those characters. And I mean, there's one other character called Carla, and she is someone that Daniel meets in that world, and I think that there's a whole other story that I can do with her and other characters on Altinor, and bring them all together. I think it'd be great. I mean, I love all of my main characters, and Daniel's the main one, but I mean, I could write books about the others as well. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, so you're gonna be stuck. So you're saying in the next 5 years you're gonna be stuck in your own magic world that you made.
Yeah, I think I'll be stuck in Altinor for quite a few years. But I think it's a fun place to be.
Oh goodness. Um, so with you being in writing children's, not children. It's not exactly. I don't think that doesn't look like a children's book. It looks like middle school, high school age book.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I've imagined it like 11 years plus, I think adults will enjoy it as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought like the way, the Philip Pullman books, his Dark Materials trilogy, when I read those, I thought, is this really for children? Because it's got so much depth to them, they've got so much depth and they bring in so many great big themes that we think about as adults as well as children.
Yeah.
So I was inspired by him quite a bit, yeah, with that.
So, what is your favorite childhood book?
Favorite. I mean, I would have to say it's Mort. It's the Discworld book by Terry Pratchett. And when I read that, I mean, I think I was 11 or 12, and it has this engrossing plot and these characters that, they were seemingly classic characters, like archetypal characters, but they were written in such new ways, that for me, I'd never read about those kind of ways before. And they had this one main character, which is a personified death, and he has the black cloak and the scythe, but he has this great sense of humor and humanity that Pratchett gave him. And I loved also the fact that Pratchett used fantasy in the Discworld books as satire, so he used them in a way to kind of take the mickey out of our own world in sly ways, and I thought that was genius. And so Mort completely hooked me into the Discworld books, and it was like a drug when I was a teenager. I just kept reading these books. I couldn't give up on the Discworld, and I love those books. And the humor in them.
Yeah. My favorite. I have a favorite from when I was a teenager. It was written by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weis. It's like dragons and
Yeah.
I want to say it's not Dungeons and Dragons.
No.
It's dragons. Oh, I can't remember what it is. But anyway, well, it's a bunch of their books are like this thick. They're really thick. Yeah, so I was the kid running around. I would go to the library and I would stock up on the Tracy Wyatt because there's so many of them. Because I guess they were both tag teaming the books and cranking them out. So I go to the library and stack up on those books. But it was all fantasy. And the storyline, but the characters continue on from one to kind of like Game of Thrones. Now I got
Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones.
I've read all the books. I can't wait for the next book in the series.
Yeah.
And it has dragons, so that's good.
Anything with dragons is good. Anything like Ella Enchanted is good. You know what I mean?
The fairy tale stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also, on another note, my other favorite is Anne Rice and her vampires, the stats and all of them. Yeah, they're my favorites. But I don't remember the name of them. All I know is that it had I was stuck in them because I would go and I'd get all of them and then I read them all and it'd take forever because I didn't read very fast.
It could be addictive.
Yeah, but book addiction is good. # book addicted. Book addiction.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's good because
it's a good addiction.
I love books because it takes you out of where you are and puts you into other places. So you're going through hard times, pick up a book and it completely changes your mind state because you're enthralled. You're stuck in what the characters are doing instead of what your life is doing. Don't get too lost. You got to come back to us.
Come back to the real world. That's true.
So, with that being said, I believe I've asked you everything I wanted to ask you. This is an awesome, it's just a nice, simple, uncomplicated interview.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you. Yeah,
Yes.
really enjoyed it.
Go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you.
Absolutely. So I'm on Facebook. It's Giles J.M. Blackley, and on Twitter as well. And you can get the books. You can get Closeburn Crossing on Amazon.com, Amazon.co.uk, and loads of other Amazon sites. And I hope you pick up the book and see what you think. It'd be great. Thank you.
Oh, wait, there's one last thing. I forgot. I was going to make this announcement in the beginning. Now I have to go right in the post. If, for the authors who are watching this, listen to me, listen clearly, okay? If you are running traffic to Amazon to buy your books, you need to pixel that traffic. Why? So that you can retarget them. So before sending the traffic to Amazon,
Yep.
I'm trying to stay as close so that people understand, have something in place so that they have to go through you, give you an email, or subscribe to a chatbot. Chatbots are available right now, though, because of the whole Facebook, Russia, all that. But if you have one set up already, you should be okay. But have them go through your chatbot or to get the link to your Amazon book, or have them go to your landing pages to opt in and give you email so it can be updated or something before sending them to Amazon. Or there is something called Link Helper. I'm going to be interviewing the guy for this product next week. It's like a software, but it allows you to connect your links to your Pixel so that they can track that data. So then you can do Facebook ads. Just be careful with your targeting. We don't want to go back to Congress, but Mark Zuckerberg is right now at Congress talking about how we track people's data as marketing. Oh gosh. But you want some type of piece of information for that person who's potentially interested in your book and might buy it. Because what happens if they purchase it and they purchase from Amazon? What happens to them after the purchase? What happens to them after the purchase? You don't know. You can't retarget them and say, hey, did you enjoy the book? Leave a review. Like that one. Like, hey, what was the best part you thought about the book? Did you even start the book? You can't, there's nothing, you can't have a conversation with somebody who bought your book. You know what I mean? And you want to, also make sure that your Amazon author pages are set up and you have a way for people to find you after the purchase. Like, hey, I really enjoyed this book. Let me go back on the author page and see if I can connect. People do that. People do that a lot. But anyway, pixel your links. I'll get the link. I'll post it in the marketing and stuff groups. If you guys really need it, just contact me. But pixel, track, do something where you can catch the information for who your traffic is, especially if they're purchasing your book, because you're going to want to be able to say, thank you. Give me a review, please. Book 2 is coming out. That's the person who would say, if you enjoy book 1, then you're going to love book 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, rant over. So.
No, I'm taking that all in. I'm going to be working on all these things that you're saying after this. Thank you.
Hey, let me know. I can get you the link.
Thanks so much.
But anyway, you guys, this was an awesome interview. Giles, it was so nice to meet you and for you to come on live with me tonight. And definitely, if you guys haven't, go and check out Closeburn Crossing. Make sure that if you're watching this, the hashtag replay And to hashtag support your authors. I keep saying hashtags like I'm some cool. Like I feel like when I first heard about hashtags, I felt so old. Now I'm saying hashtag this and hashtag that.
No, it's working for you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Delilah, for this.
No problem.
It's a great opportunity.
Yes.
I really appreciate it.
So we're going to say hashtag bye.
Bye.
Hashtag support your author by leaving reviews. You can visit this author's book at the link above. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to receive our notifications.